It's Tuesday and it's time for Falcon Focus. Welcome to Falcon Focus, episode number 18 here in season number 5. We are presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. My name is Matt Menzel. Our focus and segment number 2 will be women's lacrosse as they wrap up their regular season on Saturday against Illinois Tech. We'll be joined by the McCardle sisters, both Cammie and Delaney. But first, our focus baseball as we talk with senior outfielder Jack Owens. Jack, thanks for your time. And as you look right now, baseball down to their final 3 doubleheaders of the regular season. 13 wins, 18 losses, 8 and 10 in conference play. And from your point of view, how would you summarize the first 31 games of the season?
Yeah, it's definitely been a bit of a letdown from what we expected to do. But that's not to say that with the next 6 games coming up in conference that we don't think that we can put something together and kind of make a run for this conference tournament. With missing it the last 2 years, we know that's not who we are, and we know that we belong in that tournament. So with MSOE and St. Norbert and CUC coming up, it's crucial to get some of those wins and kind of make a push towards this tournament.
Take us back to Saturday for a second. A couple of tough losses in Chicago against Illinois Tech. You look at Game 1, Falcons able to take a 1-0 lead, but limited to 3 hits and a 4-1 setback. In Game 2, essentially it was one big inning for Illinois Tech, a 9-run third that did the Falcons in. But your takeaways from Saturday?
Yeah, IAT is a hard ballpark to play at. It's a little bit smaller, and the wind was howling out. Conditions aren't the best, so we knew that going in, and that's not an excuse for the way we played. On the offensive side of things, just too many strikeouts. It's kind of been a tough point for us this year, is striking out and not having tough at-bats and put together tough at-bats. But Zach Sloan was pitching, and whenever he's on the mound, you know you're going to get a quality start out of him. The confidence that he brings out on the mound, that he puts in the defense and even the hitters is something really cool to watch. But it was definitely a tough day at the ballpark for sure, especially that second game. Or like you said, they had that one big inning, and they kind of just steamrolled from there. So it was tough to kind of chip away from that one. But that first one, I think, is the one that hurt the most when, like you said, we went up early, we're feeling good, and then slowly just got away from us.
Now you're from these Chicagoland areas. It's still special after these years to get the opportunity to go back down to the Chicagoland area and play some of these conference doubleheaders.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are some of the fields that travel ball was playing in the summer, and now playing at the collegiate level is pretty cool to see, being on the other side of it. But it's always nice having extended family come to those games, whereas up here, it's just the usual mom and dad coming. But back home, getting to see my sister and other families is awesome.
Talking about Game 1, though, in that doubleheader, and you mentioned it, okay, jumped in front 1-0, and it seems like when you look at this season for the Falcons, you've been right there. I mean, a number of very tough losses, close losses throughout, especially conference play, where maybe it's one error that does the Falcons in. It's a base running mistake. It's men left on base. Is that a fair statement where, obviously in close games you can magnify some of those mistakes, but it seems like it's one or two things that just come back to bite the Falcons?
Yeah, absolutely. And even to the flip side of that, it's always, like you said, runners on, just getting that one duck snort that falls in between the outfield and the infield that brings in the winning run, and just being able to kind of close out those games or not let teams get back in. That's been an issue too, especially these 7-inning games. You don't have enough time to get a slow start. With the first game of the doubleheader being 7 innings, you got to get going quick. So being able to kind of play clean baseball, we call them freebies. Pitchers don't give up walks. Defense don't be making errors and everything. So it's definitely a crucial part of the game, and that's something that I think you realize as you get older and into these higher levels. The good teams aren't really the teams that are, hitting home runs every at bat. They play good, clean, sound baseball. They're not making errors. They have simple at bats with runners on. They get them in. So it's definitely been a tough part to get those runners in and not strike out, like I mentioned earlier.
And we will talk about that a little bit later on. I do want to get your opinion about the new NAC baseball doubleheader format, with Game 1 being 7 innings, Game 2 expected to last 9. But when you look at the team right now, what do you feel like is the strength of this Falcon team?
We are unbelievably close. I'm a senior here, my 4th year, and this is definitely the closest this team's been. And facing the adversity that we've faced so far this year, when we make a run here in the next 6 games, it's going to be tough to beat us in the conference tournament just because of the adversity we face, the battle scars that we have. So it's definitely a strength in our team. We believe in each other. Like I said, when Zach Sloan's out there, when Bart Sack's out there, you name it, we have pitchers that can shove. and it's up to the hitters to kind of produce some runs for them for sure.
I was going to say, it shows when you look at the last 6 or 7 games, about 5 of those, the opposition's been limited to 4 runs or less, so certainly giving the offense an opportunity to get over that hump and put some of those games in the win column. But let's look at the roster for a second. You brought up the close-knit tightness of this group, and you look, and would you consider this a younger roster? Is it, a blend? Obviously, there's a lot of new faces getting more regular playing time from years past.
Yeah, absolutely, myself included.
Mm-hmm.
But with Cole's leadership out there is awesome, but when you look at it, guys like Jordan Vasquez, freshman, Connor Lash, freshman, guys like Nikolai, who haven't pitched a lot this year. So it's definitely a younger team. Hayden Reich, Luke Heinkel getting some starts in there too, all freshmen. So it's good getting those guys innings. Drake Rod, I mean, I can just go on and on about guys who haven't necessarily gotten a lot of playing time, but this year have stepped up and helped us a lot.
Do you think that's played a role a little bit, just getting used to everybody's role and who's expected to do what?
Absolutely. It's tough. Kyle Flynn making a position change. There's definitely been a lot of moving pieces this year, but it's not something that we can't, kind of form around, and especially in the next year and the coming years, it's going to be a pretty scary roster with a lot of these young guys getting playing time early and getting their feet wet, kind of getting over those initial nerves at first for the first season. It's going to be really cool to watch in the next coming years.
I've had this conversation with some of your other teammates, but how big is a trip like Arizona, the spring break trip, in helping to build that continuity?
Yeah, absolutely. The locker room there is awesome, just kind of bringing the guys together, but especially just seeing baseball for the first time. We're stuck in Catalyst, which is awesome to have, especially here in the Midwest, but nothing beats being outside and seeing other pitchers, seeing live pitchers too as well. So being able to kind of have that experience with the whole team there and kind of get on the field again, freshmen kind of get their first taste of what college baseball is really like and how hard it is to win a college baseball game. So Arizona is and it's an awesome experience for all of us.
What's your favorite part off the diamond about that trip?
I would have to say the locker room. It's all the guys together in one big smelly locker room, but it's a lot of fun. We have everyone together, and everyone's cracking jokes, and especially fun after you win. Just all the vibes are high, and it's a really good time.
So overall, what do you say right now? The newcomers have fit in nicely? Absolutely.
We always joke, especially with Kyle Flynn, that, when you were a freshman, no one liked your freshman class. You guys are way too stuck up. And I'm sure they said the same about my class, especially me. But, these freshmen are awesome. They fit in really well. I bond with a lot of them. Alex Ames with me in center. He's an awesome guy. And just a lot of the freshman outfielders as well have really done a good job of kind of finding their spot and doing whatever it takes, whether it's pushing the guy in front of them or pushing themselves. It's been awesome.
Looking at your time with the Falcons, your role has increased immensely from day one. 7 games as a freshman, 11 games as a sophomore, 14 games as a junior. Now all of a sudden you're an everyday player, if you will. Has that been a smooth transition for you now, getting the opportunity, getting those reps now on a daily basis?
Yeah, it's definitely been a transition. Being behind Johannes Hawkinson's definitely a lot to learn there. But I think it just comes down to believing in myself, knowing that I can do this. A little bit of imposter syndrome at first, like, do I really belong out here? But I think that lasted maybe an inning or two, just kind of the first inning nerves. But yeah, it's been awesome, and I think it's been a pretty smooth transition knowing that I belong out there.
Is that a mental battle those first few years, knowing that, hey, I got the ability, but it's not my turn yet? How do you stay motivated? How do you stay engaged?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I found that helps me best is don't worry about myself or necessarily like the player in front of me, like Johannes, because just looking at that and start comparing, it's going to lead you down a really bad rabbit hole. So I'd focus on a totally different position player, and I'd know what he was working on. So Sean Tillman or Kyle Kasabucky, if I knew what they were trying to do in their swing, when they're hitting, look at their swing and kind of try and help them instead of worrying about Johannes or myself, because I don't write the lineup at the end of the day. Johannes doesn't write the lineup. So just kind of focusing on what I can do best, whether that's pinch running like I have for the 3 years before, when it gets those later innings type ball game, making sure I'm ready for that, but just kind of taking the focus off myself and more on the team.
So looking at this spring for you personally, how do you feel like the season's gone?
Yeah, I would definitely always like to say you can do better. But as a team, obviously I think we could hit a little bit better. Pitching has done good. But again, there's 6 more games left, and I think we're finally starting to get something together here. So
obviously Campco Park is your home diamond. You look at this spring, it's been a lot of windy days. Does it take some getting used to playing that outfield, that big outfield?
100%. It's a big outfield, so you have to, especially as a center fielder, you got to cover some ground out there. But our outfield coach, Coach Kuiper, is really good with us, and he's making sure every inning we know what the wind's doing and if the wind shifts or whatnot. But it's also having faith in my right and left fielder, whether that's Brendan Cleveland or Kyle Flynn or Cole Aguirre, having faith in them that I know they can cover some ground too and make some plays out there for me as well.
I'm glad you guys are keeping Val Kuiper busy by keeping track of the wind direction. Outside of Capco Park, what is your favorite field to play at in the conference?
Wow.
Is there a favorite field outside of Capco Park?
That's a tough one. We are spoiled. I mean, we are spoiled. It's always fun talking to guys. When you get on first or second, talking to the first baseman, middle infielders, they're like, "Yeah, I wish we were playing at your park." Yeah, me too. But no, there's some good conference. I mean, or good fields in the conference. MSU just got that new ballpark, which is really nice out there. Dominican plays at the Independent League Stadium, so that's always nice as well. I don't think I can say one that's more favorite than ours, though. I don't know if that exists, to be honest.
Now, when you look at your plate approach, what has your approach been? You have 22 hits, 7 of which have been extra bases. But on top of that, you've walked the team high 25 times.
Yeah, that's kind of been my focal point this year is seeing a lot of pitches. Being in the leadoff spot this year, it's definitely been see pitches and get on base, regardless of how you do it. So kind of just trusting myself, regardless of what count I'm in. Trusting whatever Skip's putting on, whether that's bunt or fake bunt, just trying to get in the pitcher's head a little bit, trying to expect what's coming, and not trying to do too much. I think that's an area that a lot of guys got in trouble with this year is trying to do too much at the plate, myself included at times, of course, but really just kind of settling down and trusting my approach, which is get on base whichever way you can.
So has that approach changed a great deal from even going back to your prep days?
Yeah, 100%. Especially my younger days when I wasn't playing as much and you get in, it's like, okay, like you're all, getting amped up, and that's the last thing you want to do in the batter's box. Into baseball is hard enough.
Yeah.
So it's 100% change. I think it kind of goes back to this summer playing in Hartford in a small little league, but just having fun and realizing that whatever I do on the field is not who I am. That's not what makes me who I am. So kind of taking that stress off of it, putting my identity in Christ, and knowing that whether I go 4-for-4 today or 0-for-4 with 4 strikeouts, it's not who I am, and it's not who I am. So kind of taking my identity out of that.
As we mentioned, just 3 dates left for the regular season for Falcon baseball. 6 games with the 3 doubleheaders starting tomorrow at MSOE, and then next week a couple of home doubleheaders. Tuesday at 12 noon against St. Norbert College, and then May 3rd at 12 o'clock versus Concordia Chicago. Outside of obviously picking up the victories, what are you hoping to see from this Falcon team in those 6 games? What are you hoping to personally accomplish in those 6 games?
Yeah, well, as far as a win, is like you said, that's definitely the top priority. But as a team, just good, clean baseball. I think any way you can, especially at MSU with a nice turf field like I mentioned, just playing clean baseball on a field that we know what hops we're going to get. Playing clean baseball, and for myself, I guess just, again, putting together tough at-bats, being a tough out, running that pitch count up for the other opposing pitcher, doing whatever I can to get on base and help our guys. You
brought it up earlier, and I'll bring this up again. You look at the format this season in the NAC. It's changed. Game 1 is 7 innings. Game 2 is 9 innings. Is that a big adjustment? Is that a big difference?
Yeah, it is. It's nice at some points, and it's like, man, I wish we had 2 more innings to put up another run. But for our pitchers, when a starting pitcher's on and he only has to go 7 innings, that's pretty cool for us. Unless you're on the opposing side of it, where it's tough to knock them out. But it's definitely been an adjustment, especially as a team this year who's kind of gotten off to slower starts in terms of putting together that big inning in the 5th or 6th inning. It's harder to do that with a 7th inning game. You've a little less wiggle room, so being able to jump out on top early is way more crucial in a 7 inning game than it is in a 9 inning game.
Now to wrap things all up, and I ask all my senior guests this, for you, what is your major? What's next for you? What do you hope to do with that major?
Yeah, so I'm a finance and business management major. Next, I am going to take my 5th year next year, and then the plan after that is to go to law school.
Okay.
Yep.
Now you're going to be back baseball-wise,
yep.
So one more year.
One more year.
Outside of, this upcoming season, when you look back at your time with the Falcons, what memories stand out from the first, 3 plus almost 4 seasons?
Yeah. Besides from hanging out with all the guys, hanging out with Coach Kuiper has always been a blessing. when we're in Arizona going to pick up food or whatever, just hanging out with him is always a fun time. He gives me a hard time as well, which I love. We'd always joke around my freshman year that we were going to have a cage match in the outfield, WWE style. So
is he involved?
Oh, yeah, me versus him, mano y mano. Yeah,
my money's on you, Jack.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun having him around, and just his experience and just who he is as a person has been awesome.
Well, if you guys have that cage match, please let us know so we can be out there to cover it.
Pay-per-view.
Yes, no doubt about that. Jack, all the best. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Again, best of luck to the Falcon baseball team. A big week ahead, MSOE tomorrow, and then you can see them at Capco Park next Tuesday and Saturday. When we come back, our focus will shift to women's lacrosse. They have a big finale against Illinois Tech. We'll be joined by the McCardle sisters, Cammie and Delaney. You're tuning in to Falcon Focus, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.
I can't imagine being any other profession than an orthopedic surgeon. We have the privilege and we have the responsibility to make people better. We've been fortunate enough to take care of professional athletes. We've also been fortunate enough to take care of our neighbors and friends who trust us to give them back their life.
One of the main reasons I came here was because this is the way healthcare is meant to be delivered. Being devoted exclusively to orthopedic care means that we can focus on delivering specialized care for every patient. And that includes not only the surgeons and the physicians, but also anesthesia, controlling pain, the nurses, and the scrub techs, and everyone in the recovery is dedicated to treating conditions that are very similar for people.
Our tagline is an uncommon focus on you. We think the focus on the patient experience is what sets us apart. Before we make any process or clinical decision at the hospital, we start with the same question. Is this what's best for the patient? If we can't answer yes, we move on to the next idea. Our nurses provide care for no more than 3 patients per shift, whereas other facilities, they might provide care for 7 or even 8 patients per shift. We think this personalized care is what sets us apart from others.
I think that dedication to our patients is our number one focus. And you can technically do a good operation, but if you're not centered on the patient, they're not necessarily going to have a great outcome.
The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin is physician-owned. It's physician-led. We have the responsibility to make the right decision for every patient. We also have the freedom to make the right decision for every patient.
Physicians and staff collaborate through regular meetings, weekly and monthly, and with a relatively small team, we're able to change the way we do things if we need to tweak something to make it perfect.
The facility specifically was designed so that quality could be measured and maintained and sustained. When you have 7,000 patients a year receive their surgery here, it's important that patient number 1 and patient number 7,000 receive the same care.
We place an extremely high priority on the patient experience here. We send surveys to each and every person that receives care at our hospital. Those survey results come back directly to me. I review them and share them with our senior leadership, as well as the staff and the physicians that provide the care to those patients.
There's almost 5,000 hospitals in the country that are measured. The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin measures number 1, not number 2, not number 3, not runner-up, number 1 in patient satisfaction in the state of Wisconsin for the last 10 years running.
Welcome back to Falcon Focus, episode number 18 here in season number 5. We're presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Our focus now on women's lacrosse and being joined by the McCardle sisters, Cammie, a junior midfielder, and then Delaney, the sophomore defender. And before we talk women's lacrosse and about the here and now, I want to get your guys' opinion on how much fun it's been to get the opportunity to play together on the lacrosse field.
Yeah, we kind of grew up playing together, and she went to GCU last year, and now she's here. So it was awesome just to have her back on the field and just encouraging, I guess. We like to hype each other up.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It reminds me of high school when we played together, and that's just a lot of fun, like just connecting on the field. Like if I throw a ball, I know she's going to go and get it.
So did you guys play lacrosse together in high school or another sport?
Lacrosse, and then we played tennis together in high school.
Okay,
Yeah.
so as you mentioned, you guys have that history, and now getting the opportunity once again. nursing majors, both of you. So you guys kind of follow each other not only when it comes to competition, but also academically, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. It seems that way. We're thinking about going into different fields of nursing, but I guess that like healthcare really just like was drawn to us like early on and that sort of thing. I guess we just really gravitated towards the science and the math growing up, and that's
Why do you think that is? What's the interest there?
I don't know. See, I like the like fast-paced environment and definitely like the medical setting. I really enjoy. And like nursing, you can take so many different ways. Like you're so flexible with what you can do with it.
Yeah, I kind of like the critical thinking that goes into it. Like you're really thinking on your feet. You're collaborating with a lot of different, like healthcare. You're going with doctors. You're going with OT, PT. So I just kind of like the teamwork aspect of it.
So here at Concordia, you guys sit together on the bus. Do you eat meals together? Do you study together? Do you have that separation?
We get a little bit of separation. I think too much together time can sometimes lead to some little fights breaking out. But we honestly, sometimes we sit together. We eat with each other a lot of the times. But we also understand like the importance of me time and trying to get away. We're roommates too, so.
So you can't get that separation per se.
Yeah, we go off campus. Sometimes Lainey goes home and I stay here, and yeah.
Well, we'll talk about food and some other stuff a little bit later on. We have a game to play. How well do you know your sister? And one of the questions I will ask, so you can start thinking about now, is favorite food. So what's your sister's favorite food? We'll figure that all out and more as we go along. But Cammie, out of West Bend East High School. First of all, let's talk about that for a second, how unique that experience is, because West Bend has East and West High School. They share the same building but separated essentially by a hall. How unique is that?
Yeah, it's really unique. I mean, I tell teammates here that, we had two schools in one building, and they separated us based off of it's the oldest child's birthday. If it's even, so my brother was August 2nd, so you go to East and the rest of us follow. And then if it's odd, they go to West and the rest of us follow. But it's weird because it seems like it's just separated for sports. Like we had classmates that were West. We had teachers that were West. Some things were combined. So I think they just want kids to stay involved in sports, and they don't want to cut anybody. So.
But did East want to beat West? Like, was it a big rivalry there?
Like during homecoming week, it gets very intense because like we verse each other every year, and it's very hectic that entire week.
There's only a hall separating the two schools essentially.
Yeah, we've had some fights there, and
That's way to go, West Bend.
yeah.
Now you played hockey, tennis, lacrosse, Cammie at West Bend East. Here you play hockey and lacrosse. Was that kind of the thought when you came to Concordia that you try to play multiple sports?
Yeah, I think I came in, like, initially when looking at other colleges, hockey was, like, my main focus. But lacrosse options started opening up, and I do really well with, like, structure and having those sports seasons. So I knew I was capable of playing both, and it's been a great experience.
So does February and March kind of get chaotic for you as you wrap up hockey, but then lacrosse gets going?
Yeah, it seems like you're missing out a little bit on lacrosse as that season starts like up, and then hockey's kind of dwindling down a little bit. So this year there was a lot of other hockey girls going to lacrosse, so it didn't feel as like I was missing out on a lot. And we had like 2 days off, and then we jumped right into lacrosse. So
Chance to catch your breath for about a moment.
Yeah.
Delaney, you were involved in tennis, gymnastics, and you said lacrosse in high school?
Yes.
How long have you been playing lacrosse?
Oh my gosh, I think we started doing like clinics in like second grade.
Yeah.
So a long time, but I didn't think we started playing competitively until like fourth grade or so.
Okay.
But it's been a big part of our lives.
And you went initially to Grand Canyon University. You played on their women's club lacrosse team. How was that experience?
I really enjoyed it. It was definitely like for club, we definitely did a lot. Like it was very high intensity, but it was people like from all over come to GCU. So we had people from like Washington, Colorado. So it was really interesting to see how like everyone plays kind of differently from those areas.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got to believe all kinds of different experience levels as well. And what ultimately led you to transfer into Concordia?
I just didn't love the area that GCU was in, and I was like, for not loving a school, I don't want to be 27 hours away from home. But I mean, it was an experience, but I don't think the school was right for me. Like, I like this smaller school and stuff.
So it's got to be pretty special to come back here and get the chance to kind of reunite with your sister, at least on the athletic field and academically.
Yes, it's an experience. I like it, having her and stuff. And, like, all the professors were both nursing, so everyone's like, oh, you're Cammie's sister.
Cammie, you're a goaltender in hockey. Have you ever considered playing goalie in lacrosse? You know, obviously you have Parks Carthway who does both when it comes to field hockey and lacrosse. How about from a hockey standpoint? Is there a big difference between the two positions?
Yeah, me and Carolyn Bourgeot have talked a lot about this because she's a goaltender also. And we were more than willing to step up if needed if Parks got hurt. Even in the last game, they took a hit to the head a little bit with the ball, and me and Carolyn right away ran over to the sidelines. We were like, do you need us? But I think goalie, there's a lot of pressure to it in hockey, a lot on your shoulders. So in lacrosse, it's nice kind of to not have that in the same regard and to kind of be able to go out, score goals. Yeah, and then lacrosse goalie, I've played it before, and I start blocking the ball with my body instead of the net because I'm used to hockey. So, yeah.
Overall, you've played 40 games with 45 goals and a total of 15 assists in the midfield for lacrosse. In your opinion, when you look at your career so far, how has your play production maybe improved or increased in those 3+ seasons?
Yeah, I think a lot we talk about confidence, and coming in as a freshman, I wasn't really too confident making those cuts, taking those risks on net with the shots. This year, I've grown a lot, and I've started to find those open lanes and that sort of thing, getting more chances. Me and Caitlin coming on, we've had a lot of like good chemistry moments and setting up plays, so it's been good. I think there's been a lot of improvement.
Now, Delaney, what's kind of unique for you is you also work in the athletic communications office, so you get the opportunity to work behind the scenes sometimes on broadcast. So in some instances, for hockey, for instance, you get to watch your sister from a different perspective. Do you ever get nervous, whether it be, here at college or maybe going back to high school, nervous for your sister? Obviously, you want to see her do well, but you're watching her cheering around, but also kind of some anxious moments?
I think during hockey, I more so get anxious for her because I know, like, that high pressure, especially, like, when it's tie game or stuff like that. And I'm like, I know, like, it's all on her if she lets this goal in or not. But I get anxious standing up there, yeah.
Did you ever play hockey or ever want to play hockey?
I did when I was, like, really little, probably, like, 5 or 6, but I refused to wear socks with my skates. And then, like, I would come off complaining that my feet were so cold, and my mom was just like, I'm done with this, and she took me out.
It was so
And then I
cute.
switched to figure skating for a year.
Really?
And then I quit that.
But
After
she
what
can
year?
still
Yeah.
skate. She's still a really good skater.
So there might be maybe the door is slightly open, maybe a comeback?
Maybe.
No, you went the gymnastics route, though.
I
Yeah.
did, yes.
Gymnastics background. What are some of the highlights from your gymnastics days?
I joined it my sophomore year of high school, and I wasn't very, like, good at it, but, like, all my friends did it, so I was like, I'll just do it for the fun, and I made it to varsity beam my senior year. I don't know. That was just kind of my thing. I only did beam and floor, but
But that's impressive because I would think as a sophomore in high school, you're kind of behind the game a little bit from the rest of your teammates. Was that intimidating at all, or how did you catch up?
it was, but I saw it more so like the fun, like I'm not trying to be like the best on the team. Like I had done like pre-team gymnastics in like 6th grade, so I had like some background in it, but nothing like major. Like I was like flipping all around the floor and stuff.
You were on that tumbling team.
Yeah,
too,
I
for a
was
bit.
on West Bend Dance and Tumbling Troupe, and
Okay.
then I quit that also, but I had my moments on there.
If you ever decide to quit women's lacrosse, I'm not promoting that. Would you ever consider acrobatics and tumbling?
Well, when they had their big tournament here, it was actually really fun to watch. I was like, I used to do that, but I don't know if I could still do it now.
Well, we can always try. For both of you, before we get to our game, when you look at the women's lacrosse season, obviously there have been some good, there have been some tough moments along the way as well, but how would you go about maybe summarizing the season so far?
I think it's just been like very much so a season of growth. Like a lot of new girls, we're all connecting, and we've seen in these games like some really good highlights, some really good things that we're seeing. And I think just consistency, trying to piece those together throughout these hard games, and I think that's kind of where we're headed. So yeah.
Yeah. I think in the beginning of the season, I feel like we didn't really connect on the field as a team. And I feel like as the season has progressed, we've gotten better at that, like communicating and like uplifting each other. And I feel like in our last couple of like games, we've been doing that really well. Like even though we had lost the Beloit game, I feel like that was probably like one of the best times we played as a team. Like it was very good.
Yeah, high-scoring affair against the Beloit Buccaneers. Cam, you've battled some injury and been able to battle through and battle back, and you've still managed to score 17 goals, 5 assists. You've tallied 3 hat tricks. And you talked about maybe, that chemistry with Caitlin Cardinell and whatnot on the attack. Overall, you pleased with the way you're playing right now?
Yeah, I am. I was a little frustrated. I've never had like injuries or anything, and then this year it seemed like there was a little bit of a black cloud over me. But I've been pretty happy with how I'm playing. You have those games where you're feeling a little bit off and maybe aren't like getting those shots correctly on net, that sort of thing. But I think overall, I've just been trying to be really positive this year, and I think that's a huge part of lacrosse is a big mental game. And so to be able to score those goals, fight to win these games, it's been good.
Delaney, you have 1 assist, which came against Pacific, but overall your focus is defense.
Yeah.
You pleased with the way your defense has been developing?
I am, yes. I feel like this season I've been doing a lot more body D, which is what our coach wants us to do because they've been calling a lot this season with the checks and stuff. I feel like I still need to grow my confidence in like running up the field and my stick skills and stuff, but I feel like as the season has gone on, I've definitely gotten better at doing that than I was at the start.
Overall for you, has there been a big transitional period getting used to, a new program, new teammates, a new coach, a new everything here?
I think so, yeah, just because at GC we practiced like the whole entire year, so I knew how like everyone played, what their like shooting style was and stuff like that, but I enjoyed it. Like it's a whole different team again, so it's like getting to know them and stuff.
Let me ask you both this, and you kind of touched on this, Delaney. You look at this season, and from an officiating standpoint, a big emphasis has been trying to decrease the physicality. And so all of a sudden you're starting to see green cards, yellow cards flying out like they're growing on trees. How do you go about maybe adjusting your game? How have you had to adjust your guys' games, knowing that they're calling it a lot tighter than maybe they have in years past?
Yeah, the green cards, they're kind of a new thing this year, trying to like promote safety, especially in that transition. And so it's slowing the game down a little bit. And coaches had us focusing, on playing the body, tag teaming it with you, especially on the redefend, having the 2 girls come up. One girl gets stick side, one girl communicates and gets body. And that's kind of the way to do it. They're being really picky with the checks. So you just got to adapt a little bit and figure that out.
Yeah, I think our coach has been like specifically heavy on the like don't check the stick, especially if they're calling it a lot that game because it's like we don't need more people thrown out on the green card.
Yeah, it just seems like green cards, yellow cards are plenty. And you look now, the season wraps up for the Falcons, the regular season on Saturday. This senior day at 3 o'clock versus Illinois Tech. And again, for both of you before you get to our game, just what do you want to see from the Falcons? Obviously, you want to win the game on Saturday, but what maybe needs to happen for you guys to be successful on Saturday?
I think a lot of it is coming in with a big positivity, big energy boost. We're playing for our seniors that day, and so I'm really hopeful that we're going to really come together as a team, start connecting on some of the things that maybe haven't been there this season, and just encouraging and uplifting one another to win this game.
And I think having like confidence in yourself and your teammates to do like trust that they're going to catch the ball or get that ground ball and like just have faith in them and be uplifting of what they do.
So come check out the Falcons in action at Fitting Field, 3 o'clock on Saturday to wrap up the regular season against Illinois Tech. And now we get to our game. So we'll see if I screw this up with how we play this game and the rules that come along with it. But, Delaney, I'll give you the whiteboard first.
Okay.
So essentially, if I'm promoting this correctly, what we'll do is, Delaney, I'll ask you questions about Cammie, how well you know Cammie. You'll write down, like if I ask one question, you write down your answer, hold it close. Okay. We'll ask Cammie that same question. We'll see if the answer matches up. There'll be 8 questions, and then we'll flip and see who knows who better. I think we did that right. I hope we did that right.
Yeah.
So hope that made sense. So I'll start with Delaney asking about Cammie. What is Cammie's favorite food?
You could go so many routes.
I know.
With it. That's
Cammie has so many options, I bet.
That's a good problem to
see.
have. Okay. Variety, the spice of life. All right, Cammie, what's your favorite food?
Ice cream.
Is it pasta?
Oh,
pasta.
that for regular meals. I'm always a pasta girl.
This is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna write my answer, and then Cammie's gonna be like, "Oh wait, that's actually my favorite."
Nice ice cream with dessert.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's your favorite, like that's your
love
go-to
ice cream.
favorite flavor.
Chocolate, just regular
Okay.
chocolate. Oh, the Chocolate Factory has I'm Talking Chocolate. The hockey girls know I'm always an advocate to go to Chocolate Factory for that.
And they could become a sponsor of Falcon Focus come next year. Come on down.
Little plug
Reach
in
out
there.
to Jeremy Crawford. Delaney, what is Cammie's favorite holiday?
Cammie, I don't really know this one.
Yeah. I feel like we know each other so well and we just don't talk about this sort of stuff.
All right, Cammie, what's your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
All right.
There we go.
We're 1 for 2. Okay, this is an either or. Is Cammie an early bird or a night owl? Anxious moments. Cammie, which is it?
I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
She
All
knows
right.
that. She goes, "What time did you come in last night?" I was like, 1. Yeah.
So are you one that likes to stay up late and sleep in if you can?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thanks for getting up early for Falcon
Oh
Focus.
no, this is late for us, so it works out.
Late. All right, another either or. Does Cami prefer running or walking? Not everybody likes to run. Although lacrosse, a lot of running. Which is it, Cami?
Walking, 100%.
Well, there you go. 3 for 4 so far. Okay, this one might be a little more on the tricky side. What is Cami's favorite movie?
There's like 3 that are tied. Oh, okay.
Right, all 3. You have a chance to be right.
Maybe. I think my first one's right.
What type of movies do you like without giving away the answer?
Like that, like action, like I guess,
Okay.
like dystopian, that sort of thing.
Okay.
I watch everything though.
So which is it, Cami?
Hunger Games.
Okay, I did Hunger Games and Divergent.
It does say Hunger Games. So far, we are 4 for 5. What is Cami's favorite candy? Do you have a sweet tooth?
I do, yeah, especially with that ice cream. I think that's where all my Falcon points went this year was
Ooh.
ice cream and the candy.
I'm not sure if I spelled it right.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
what's your favorite candy?
Twix.
Oh, darn it. I said Reese's.
Let's
That's
see.
probably it's spelled right.
Let's see. Let's see how you spelled it. I think you spelled it right. But I mean, you get it right. I mean, you got it wrong, but I mean, I think you got the spelling right.
Okay.
That would work.
See?
That's Reese's. Our older
Our-
brother Reese loves Reese's.
But it's spelled differently. That's why I was like,
Is it?
oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is Cami's number in hockey? You should know this.
Laney.
I think I do. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I hope so.
It's either this one or.
Oh boy. Moment of truth, Cami. Which is it?
It's 31.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
I didn't know if it was 31 or 30.
Oh.
Do you know what her number is for lacrosse?
Yeah. 4.
Oh
There-
my goodness.
There you go.
There you go.
Final question. What is? I mean, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Maybe there isn't one. But what is Cami's lucky number? Does she have a lucky number, a favorite number? Could it be a jersey number?
Do you have a favorite number?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think you know it too.
I don't know.
I feel like we have to cue the Jeopardy music.
I know you like it. Okay. I don't know.
It's 14.
14.
Oh. I knew it was a 4. I guess
44.
44.
I mean, it was
Oh,
close.
I thought you had
44.
an angel
No
number.
cigar.
Yeah,
444.
Yeah, 1144. Yeah.
Yeah.
But 14. Yeah, I'm born on Pi Day, so 14.
Pi Day.
Yep.
So 5 out of 8.
That's pretty good, Laney.
It's not bad.
I don't know if I'm gonna do as good.
It's not bad.
I feel like you change
flip
up your
the-
stuff all the time.
We'll flip the whiteboard over.
Okay.
And some of the same questions, some will be slightly different.
Okay.
So how well does Cami know Delaney?
Let's
What
do
is Delaney's favorite food?
it. Ooh. If this one isn't it, I'm gonna have a talk with her.
I got a couple too.
I'll tell you what, I like that answer. I hope it is. Delaney, what is it?
Steak.
Ooh, there you go. Cha-ching, 1 for 1.
Yeah, we went on a cruise and she got steak every single night.
How do you like your steak done?
Medium well.
Medium well.
Really? Medium.
Or
well.
medium? Yeah, medium well.
Ever tried cooking a steak with Montreal steak seasoning?
See, I don't cook the steak. I don't
No,
know how
you-
to.
No, well, you need to learn. It's a life-changing event. Favorite holiday?
This one is hard, Laney.
No, I definitely have a favorite holiday.
Oh, this is gonna be kind of awkward. Wait. No.
Plus, I think you spelled the holiday wrong.
My
Christmas
bad.
does not have an N in it. Oh,
Wait.
okay.
Oh, wait. Okay. Laney?
4th of July.
Bingo.
I went with, yeah, I had
2
to
for 2.
think
You-
for a second there.
I don't know where you're going with that first spelling.
I think I paused in the middle of the M, and then I was like, no, this isn't right.
Is Delaney an early bird or night owl?
Ooh. I feel like she's going to say she's this, but she actually isn't.
Which is it, Delaney?
Night.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was going to say, yeah, because I feel like you act like you're an early bird.
No,
Oh.
I see. I'm like neither. Like I can't.
Yeah, she can't function at night or in the morning. She's a little cranky. but-
So stay away till about noon.
yeah. Catch her at noon.
What is Delaney's favorite TV show?
Oh, geez. I could have done movie. Movie was going to be the Lorax, but
Would that have been right?
that would have been right.
Okay.
TV show. I really got to think on this one.
You can even say genre type. Like, is she reality? Is she, drama, sitcom? I mean, I'll make it easy. You can just go generic.
Just like your basic, I don't know. Yeah, maybe that.
Do you guess the show?
I guessed like a genre.
Oh, I don't know, like
yeah,
Vampire Diaries, but what genre? Like
That's not a sitcom. That was the answer. That's not a sitcom. I don't know what it is, but it's not a sitcom.
It's not. Vampire Diaries, really.
Let's see it.
yeah, it's like the only TV show I've actually like watched.
Yeah, like you only make it. She doesn't like TV shows. She like watches a few episodes and then she gets bored.
So you don't binge watch?
Not
Okay.
really, no.
Yeah.
What is Delaney's favorite candy?
Oh, jeez. Let's see here.
Delaney, do you have a sweet tooth too?
I do, yes.
Okay. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Moose Tracks.
Also from the chocolate factory?
I think they got rid of it.
Well,
They used to have it.
phew.
Okay.
Reese's.
That's what you thought of I thought you'd do Butterfingers.
That's my second one.
That's wrong.
Oh, of
My
course.
favorite candy like changes every month.
All right,
That's
so
why you can't. You're so indecisive.
Cam,
with
you got
things.
some work to do.
I guess I do. I'm
You're
really
2 for 5 so
I'm
far.
failing at the older sister.
What is Delaney's number in lacrosse?
Oh, I know this one.
This one you do know. You can flip the.
Oh.
No, you can show it. That's right. That's 16.
Mm-hmm.
All
There
right.
we go.
We're back on track.
I know. I always tell people I'm like 16's my sister over there. The girl defending me.
You have 2 more questions.
Okay.
You got to get these right. What is her lucky number? Does she have a lucky number?
Oh yeah, I feel like you have to go that way.
17.
Yeah.
It is 17. Wow.
17.
Why 17?
I don't know. Our brother used to have that number as hockey, and then I just like gravitated towards it, I guess.
Yeah. It was like Uncle Tom's race car number.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a story there, but we'll have to save that for another episode. We'll wrap it up with this. And this, I mean, it's a big one.
Okay.
Obviously, there's 4 seasons throughout the year, but I'm knocking it down to 2. Does Delaney like winter or summer? Cold or warm?
Summer.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she
Wow.
went to GCU just
Just for the warm weather.
look at her year-round tan.
Wow. So, looking at the final total, both got 5 out of 8.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Can't get
That is
better
good.
than
We
that.
still have some work to do, a little bit, but you guys can spend some time doing that later. But we'll see you guys on Saturday, 3 o'clock, Falcons and Illinois Tech. Thanks for coming on, and best of luck to you and the women's lacrosse team and senior day once again against the Scarlet Hawks. And thank you for joining us for Falcon Focus. We'll do it again next Tuesday, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.